Democrats, but he doesn't have the gift of where Mr Rudd said time and time again, the leader of the Labor Party, Pixie Rudd, got nothing to do with that. You want to play the race card, and what you're trying to do, you see, Richard, they play the race card and try to emphasise that people, because you are criticising anybody, you're a racist. That's their education. And they're trying to make it out as a race issue. It is on his situation of governing the country of the United States of America. You know the Nazis were active, and you wouldn't hardly call them Nazis. They were, listen, you're going to be quiet or we will cease to speak. Instead of smoking a joint. Now you're going to behave yourself and you're going to carry on like some juvenile.
No, it's just a bit of
from a reform school. I'm not talking to you, Father Christmas. What I'm saying is this. The situation regarding the United States, it's yours truly, the Labor leader of this country, who continually says that the Australian people voted for Mr Kevin Rudd. Well, they didn't vote for Mr Kevin Rudd. They voted for a change of government. Let us clearly get it understood. But people who were bewildered with the Howard administration, that is what they voted for, a change of government. Are you going to continue to obstruct? Are you going to, or do you want to debate the issue and I'll resign? Eh? Get a look at it. Get a look at it. Comes here with his Gucci shorts. You know, God's answer to female Moucho was butch as hell, running around here looking like a surfy with his Moucho shirt, his, you know, real juvenile behaviour, and he comes up here, sunglasses and all. What are you wearing them? You're not a movie star. And then his mates, his cronies, turned around and said to me, are you going to speak? And we've come here to listen. How exciting. What? I'm desperate for as an audience, I'm desperate for them to come here. I've been speaking for quite some time. I don't need a bunch of reformed schoolboys smoking joints in toilets and terrorising the city of Melbourne. I don't need that. I'm well trained in public speaking. Now, I will give him the right to reply to what I'm saying, because I believe I disagree with what you say, but I defend your right to say it. That is democracy.
I don't understand how you can disagree with what I'm saying. You said the people didn't vote for Kevin Rudd. How did Kevin Rudd get in power if people didn't vote for him? He's Prime Minister of Australia. How do you think he got there?
Pixie Rudd from Queensland. Did you hear what I said? Pixie Rudd from Queensland. His wife was a millionaire. He came along. Labor was desperate. In Western Australia and WA, they voted a Labor government out for mismanagement and incompetence. And now Victoria, and if you haven't heard the news, the Brumby government, which has lied, prostituting the name of the Australian Labor Party for their own selfish political ambitions, so they can keep the parasites of the right-wing faction of the Australian Labor Party in public office. And they have the gall and the affront to tell us we don't know what we're talking about. We are saying to you that the birth of the Australian Republican movement, getting onto that issue, is alive. There it is, the Australian Republican movement. If they're not prepared to stand up to be counted, we are. The days of Royal Britannia are finished. No. Australia is going to become a Commonwealth, Federal Republic. No. And that is the removal democratically of the vote against the monarchy. Never. The monarchy is finished.
Never.
Our law friend up here is a monarchist. Looks like a fat of Karl Marx. Don't call you a communist. But he maintains that Royal Britannia rules the way. Australia, this country is, not England, not New Zealand. And when Australian people were murdered, I'm going to touch on that, Australian men and women went to a holiday a couple of years ago. Didn't understand politics, were sitting in Bali, enjoying themselves, and were cold-bloodedly murdered. Youth, teenagers, and the only crime they committed, they were Australians. Blood is thicker than water. When Australian men and women are defined and abused, blood is thicker than water. They are Australians like I am. And the line stops there. When you start attacking and murdering Australian people, then we will react. Australia is not a stupid country. We have people who are quite educated. The Australian Army is there to defend the Commonwealth of Australia. They're not there as a tourist attraction. The Australian Army represents the Australian people. Some man last week said, what right do I have to speak? But I'll answer that right now.
Here's the youth of Australia right in front of you, Ronda.
God help us.
Blood,
God help
water.
us.
Blood,
He just said they are the youth
I
of
bet you
Australia. They are the youth.
You love them.
We are the youth of Australia.
Are
You're
you?
the youth.
Oh.
I'm a youth.
You
How
love them.
exciting.
You
You're the
love
youth
them,
of
Ronda.
Australia.
Yeah, that's exactly right, mate.
Blood, sicker than water, Ronda.